Hi, my name is Margee Kerr. I'm a sociologist and author of the book Scream: Chilling Adventures in the Science of Fear.
Hey sci-fi fans, Aaron Sagers here, and I am at Eastern State Penitentiary, the 188-year-old jail, the oldest penitentiary in the world. And it is also, supposedly, notoriously haunted, which makes it a great setting to be talking to Margee Kerr. All right, Margee, got a funny topic to cover right now: clowns. Of course, the movie It is a big hit. So what is it about clowns that just really freak us out?
You know, I think at this point, a better question is, why aren't we afraid of clowns? Like, who isn't afraid of clowns? Because when you think about all the characteristics about clowns that are terrifying, it's a majority of things about them that are scary. But there has been a lot of research about the fear of clowns and what's behind it. And it goes all the way down to a neurological level. They're just really confusing for our mind to process. You know, we see this image that kind of looks like a human, but it's got a painted face, and the painted face is usually exaggerating facial features that we depend on to make sense of where the other person is emotionally. So, you know, we're used to reading a downturned frown as somebody's upset, or, you know, the furrowed eyebrows. We have meaning associated with all of those expressions. And clowns, they have the painted features, but then they have what their actual mouth and eyes are doing. And they're often discordant. So they may have a painted on smile, but you know, they've just got like a neutral face or a frown face, and our brain is saying, okay, are they happy? Are they sad? What is happening here? I can't read their facial expression. More than that, their bodies, usually they have costumes that are accentuating their hands or their feet, or they've got, you know, the kind of round thing that makes their midsection large.
I don't know the clown talk for that clown phrase, but that big thing, yes. The frilly,
right.
Yeah.
And they walk kind of weird, and so everything that we see this figure coming towards us, and it's just kind of like error messages in our brain saying, I don't know what to do.
I grew up in a time when you would have clowns at a children's party before it was peak creep, you know? And for me, I remember these clowns having the yellow teeth when offset by the white makeup, and as you mentioned, the distorted dimensions of their hands and their feet and everything. And I felt like I was going through this kind of cognitive dissonance that my parents told me, don't talk to strangers, but then you're being kind of pushed forward to the strangest of strangers.
Yes.
Is that a natural kind of response? Does that kind of play into why we maybe have this reaction, this fear to clowns?
Yeah, definitely for folks in our age group too that grew up with the stranger danger of the 80s, where you couldn't, you know, turn on the TV without hearing about how terrifying strangers were. So absolutely, you know, you hear all day, don't talk to strangers, don't take candy from strangers, and now here's this person who is just towering over you and trying to feed you candy, and also, you know, asking you to squeeze his nose. Like, that's scary, that's weird, and it's not a surprise that we then now have all of these crazy clown monsters all around us. So
when we're talking about these triggers of these things that are resembling humans but not quite humans, that makes me think of what's known as the Uncanny Valley, and in science fiction and in science, it's this idea of androids and things that may come to help us but unsettle us a little bit. Talk about what is the Uncanny Valley? Define that for us.
Yeah, the Uncanny Valley is that blurry area where we can't decide if something is human or non-human. So it is androids and even dolls and clowns, anything that has human characteristics but is just not quite right. You know, and we have this concept, this mental concept of what a human is and how even a human moves. And when it's slightly off, that triggers kind of an error warning in our brain that something isn't quite right. We can't predict what this thing or person is going to do. And so the flag is raised, and we're going to be on alert. But it's more than that too. It's more than just kind of not being able to categorize what we're seeing. We do kind of learn about ourselves and our sense of humanity by the way that we treat things. So when we are interacting with a robot, and this is going to happen, we know that it's happening right now, it's also telling us something about ourselves. This is really important to study because as we have an increasingly growing aging population, we probably are going to be turning to robots to take care of activities of daily living. And so the fact that people react negatively to robots, to androids that look too human, could be problematic because we want to feel a closeness to our Big Hero 6 kind of characters. So they've actually found that making robots less human is more effective at decreasing the fear we feel towards them, because they are kind of in this fuzzy category where we don't really know if they're real or not. And so when you think about the most popular monsters, it's monsters who are playing with that boundary of human but not quite human.